okay? So we want to train ourselves to breathe from the abdomen. So the hands are here. When we breathe in, we're not trying to breathe into the chest. We want to breathe into the lower abdomen. So we slowly breathe in through the nose and expand the abdomen outward. We hold the breath, we open the mouth, and then we slowly exhale through the mouth. And then we close the mouth and breathe in again slowly through the nose. We hold the breath, open the mouth, and then slowly exhale. So the way that we are breathing is called rule of four breathing, meaning that we divided the breath into four parts. The inhalation is part one. Pausing the breath after the inhalation is part two. The exhalation of the breath is part three. And then the pause after the exhalation before you inhale is part four. So that's what's referred to as rule of four breathing. So now we're going to come onto our backs. And we're going to separate the feet, shoulders width apart, laying down on the back with the hands resting upon the abdomen with the eyes closed. Releasing all the tension from the body. And then slowly breathe in through the nose and expand the abdomen upward. Open the mouth and then slowly exhale through the mouth. So your goal is to try to fill the lungs up with the inhalation and then empty the lungs with the exhalation. So you want your exhalation to be very strong. And then you breathe in again through your nose. Hold the breath, open your mouth, and slowly exhale. Close the mouth and breathe in through your nose. Open the mouth and exhale. And then one more time, breathe in through the nose. Hold the breath, open the mouth, and breathe out. Now we're going to transition into variation 2 of the cleansing breath. So you breathe in through your nose. Open your mouth and exhale quickly. And then close the mouth. Reset your body and breathe in through your nose. Open your mouth, quickly release. And again, breathe in. Hold, open the mouth while you hold. Exhale quickly. 2 more times. Breathe in through your nose. Hold, open your mouth. 1 more time. Breathe in. Hold, open your mouth. Expel all the air. And then take your right hand, move it up a couple of inches. Place your left hand on the back of your right. Let your thumbs touch together. Make a pyramid shape. Close your mouth and breathe in and out slowly through your nose, exclusively. Slowly breathe in. Slowly breathe out through your nose. Still trying to divide your breath into those 4 parts. The slow inhalation, pausing the breath, the slow exhalation, pause before you inhale again. Breathe it in. And slowly breathing out. Breathing in. And slowly breathing out. Now, I want you to inhale and lift your hands off your chest. And I want you to exhale and lower your arms to the floor next to your body. And then bring your legs together, bring your feet together. Flex your feet towards you so you can feel your thigh muscles contract. Your arms are stiff, arms next to your body. Lift your head and shoulders. Bring your chin to your chest. Elevate your hands above your thighs. Exhale, squeeze your abdominal muscles. And as you inhale, feel your body rise. Arms are shoulders height. And as you exhale, you place your hands down to your knees and let your shoulders relax. And then breathe in slowly and breathe out slowly. And breathe in and slowly breathe out. Now cross your legs into what we call sesh pose, variation 1. The word sesh means scribe. And so the word sesh refers to the priests of ancient Kemet who used to sit in one of 3 positions in order to write the Medu Neter. The Medu Neter is the proper name for the hieroglyphs. And so people often think of this pose as being something that is done only in India. They call it Indian style. But this is a ubiquitous sitting position in ancient Kemet that was used for writing the sacred knowledge, that was used for prayer, and was also used for meditation. Okay? So this is one of those positions. We call it sesh, S-E-S-H. We take the hands, and now we go through a little sequence within this position to help the body to open up and to allow this pose to become more comfortable. And so we work on the neck, the shoulders, the spine, the hips, the knees, and the ankles. So what we want to do first is take the hands and hold on to the front leg and then pull against the leg and rotate the pelvis and sit all the way up onto your sit bones or your ischial tuberosities. As you hold on firmly to your leg, press your forearms down towards your thighs so you can lift your chest, lower your shoulders, and cause your spine to become erect. With the tip of your tongue connected to the roof of your mouth and breathing exclusively through your nostrils. You're breathing in slowly through your nose and you tilt your head halfway back and you exhale your head back, releasing your neck, and you open up the throat, stimulating the glands and organs in your throat. And with your inhalation, you bring your head up straight. And with your exhalation, you lower your head down, you bring your chin towards your chest. Now you are lengthening the muscles in the back of your neck. As you are breathing in, you raise your head up straight and you look forward. As you are exhaling, turn your head to your left, releasing your neck, releasing your shoulders. As you are breathing in, turn your head back to the center. As you exhale, turn your head to your right. Release your neck, release your shoulders, stimulating the glands and organs in your throat, stimulating the blood vessels that run through your neck, and stimulating the vagus nerve that runs through your neck, all the way down throughout your body. Now turn your head back to the front, okay? This is the way that we open up the neck. It is incorrect and dangerous to do your hair like this, the way a lot of people are teaching you to do when you take yoga classes. That is not good for the structures in your neck. The way that we do it with the hair going back, the hair going forward, and then the hair going laterally left, laterally to the right. This is made these movements are in harmony with the way that your neck is actually structured. Okay, so don't turn your head around like the exorcist. You know, keep your head straight and just allow the vertebra in the neck to turn one at a time. Okay, now once you open up the neck, you should be able to feel and actually experience increased blood circulation coming into the brain. You should feel your ears open up. You should feel your eyes open up. You should feel your nostrils flare because you're able to get more air to come into your nostrils. This one little movement of the head turning forward, backward, left, and then right is having a very powerful effect upon the whole structure of your head. Now, I want you to take your right hand and you're going to place your right hand underneath your left knee. You're going to place your left hand in the back of your right hand, and you're going to turn your body so that your chest is aligned with your thigh. And your goal is going to be to lay your chest to your thigh and pass your chin over your knee. Now, when I say that's your goal, I don't expect you to have to be able to do that the first time. Over time, as you practice, you're going to try to get the chest down and the chin down, chest to the thigh, chin to go past the knee. Okay? And so that's going to release the hip, release the lower back, and it's going to lengthen all the vertebrae through the length of the entire spine, from the base of the spine all the way to the base of your skull, okay? Your entire spinal column. So right hand, left hand, breathe in and lift. When I say lift, I want you to lift your chest, breathe in, and I want you to aim your chest towards your thigh. I want you to contract your abdomen and lay your chest down towards your thigh. And you're going to go into this position as you are exhaling. So avoid hunching your back like this. Lift the chest and flatten the back and aim the chest as you exhale. As you exhale, you are contracting your abdominal muscles and you're releasing your body forward. Now, you're only going as far as you can go comfortably. When you get to a certain point, if you run out of breath, I want you to breathe in again. And then as you exhale, release a little further. Breathe in again. As you exhale through your nose, contract your abdomen and lay your chest towards your thigh. Kind of lay your chin down towards your knee. Now, once you get down as far as you can go comfortably, take your arms and wrap them around your leg and hug your leg like a bear hug. And breathe in and slowly breathe out. Breathe in and slowly breathe out. Let go of your leg. As you are breathing in, rise up. The inhalation of your breath actually lifts your body and then turns you to the right. The exhalation of the breath lowers your hands down and underneath your right knee. And the inhalation of your breath lifts your chest and flattens your spine. The exhalation of your breath contracts your abdomen and extends your chest towards your thigh and your chin towards your knee. Wrapping your arms around your leg, bringing your chin to your knee, your chest to your thigh, and breathe in and slowly breathe out. And breathe in and slowly breathe out. Let go of your leg. Breathe in as you rise, turning to your center. As you exhale, your hands come around and down. You're going to take your hands and go behind your knees. With your inhalation, you're going to lift your chest. Now, focus on this middle part of your chest. Aim that towards the floor. So you breathe in, and as you exhale, keep your buttocks on the floor. You're going to hinge your body from the waist. Bending from your waist from the midsection. Aim your chest towards the floor. Now, of course, your chest is not going to touch the floor, but that's your aiming point. And then from here, relax your neck. Let your chin come down towards your chest. Try to take any tension out of your neck and out of your shoulders. Relax your ankles. So you got to put awareness into your body. Relax your ankles. Relax your knees. Relax your hips. Then I want you to breathe in and extend your arms forward. And as you exhale, put your hands flat to the floor. So your arms are fully extended. Your head is all the way down with your chin towards your chest, releasing all resistance and tension from your neck and from your shoulders. And breathe in. Slowly breathe out. Now let go and breathe in. When you come up, you're going to inhale yourself up. So that means that the inhalation of the breath is going to cause your body to rise. Your hinge point is your hips. So no other part of your body is engaged. You're just moving from your waist, allowing your entire body to rise. You put your thumb and your forefingers together, and then as you are exhaling, you release your shoulders. You want to feel that wonderful energy moving through your arms into your hands. You want to feel that burst of energy moving throughout your entire body. Now hold this position. Keep your eyes closed. Allow the tip of the tongue to stay connected to the roof of your mouth. And then breathe in slowly and breathe out slowly. And breathe in slowly and breathe out slowly. Inhaling and exhale. Inhale slowly. Exhale slowly. Now allow yourself to remain still. So the movements and postures that you do in your practice are designed or are supposed to be designed to move you into a state of meditation. So the movements and postures are stimulating blood circulation. The movements and postures are stimulating the flow of endorphins and other types of neurotransmitters that increase your feelings of wellness or the feelings of feeling good, things that make you feel good, things that relax your mind, that relax your thoughts. So you are increasing your blood circulation through your body. you are increasing and causing a more efficient flow to the lymphatic fluids in your body. You are taking tension out of your muscles, and you are also releasing blockages in your fascia, which is the webbing of tissue that runs throughout your entire body, that holds the systems, your muscular system and your organs in place within your body. So all of these different things are taking place within your body as you are going through your movements and your postures. So when you finish your movement, when you finish a posture, you allow yourself to become still and you breathe. The reason why we keep the tip of the tongue connected to the roof of the mouth is in recognition of the fact that we have both a physical body and we have an energetic body, a non-physical body, an etheric body. And the same way that the physical body has its own anatomy and physiology, the etheric body has its own anatomy and physiology. So without going into a lot of detail, when we place the tip of the tongue to the hard palate at the roof of the mouth, we are connecting two opposite energy channels that run through the body, that run through the etheric body. These things are not physical, but they exist very powerfully in our being. And as we make that connection, we are creating a circuit of energy that allows us to have a much more powerful experience of our yogic practice and allows us to maintain our energy within ourselves as opposed to allowing the energy to be dissipated or to be siphoned off by any other thing that's around us, whether that is a person or some other type of whatever. Okay? So we breathe. And when we are breathing, what are we doing? We're not just simply inhaling and exhaling. We are concentrating on, with the inhalation of the breath, we are concentrating on drawing energy up the spine, bringing it to the crown of the head and allowing it to come into the middle of the forehead. When we breathe out slowly and with control, we are consciously bringing the energy through the arms into the hands and down the legs and into the feet. So we are creating a cycle or a circuit of energy. And so our goal in our practice of yoga is to bring ourselves to the point of awareness that we are focusing our awareness away from the externalization that we are normally at and to an internalization, an internal view of the self, where we are able to perceive this movement of energy, and then we are able to cultivate this energy and use this energy to heal ourselves. So that's why we are practicing yoga in the first place. The physical, that's why we always say yoga or Kemetic yoga is not physical. It is about developing the etheric and the invisible aspects of the self, the subconscious, and also the energy aspect of our beings. Okay? So that's why we breathe. That's why we do the techniques that we do. That's why we practice in the manner that we do. Okay? So your movements and your postures should bring you into a state of meditation. Your movements and your postures should increase your ability to breathe. So you should be able to breathe better as a consequence of doing your movements and postures. Okay? So now we're going to work on the two other sesh poses. So again, this is called sesh pose variation 1, the simple sitting down and crossing the leg. Oftentimes, as was the case with myself when I first started to practice yoga, especially in some men, the ankles, the knees, the hips are locked up. That's how I was when I first started. And so I could not sit comfortably in this position. So it took about a year and a half before I was able to sit, to open up all these different structures. So this is something that you have to become patient with and take your time. But you have to understand that the various movements and postures that we do are going to open up these different structures and allow these structures to become more comfortable, to take the resistance, to take the tension, to dissolve the toxins that's in the muscle fibers and in the joints. Those toxins from the salt and sugar and fats and all types of different chemicals that we may be eating as we enjoy the standard American diet, the SAD diet, right? So a lot of times we have to change our diet, and we have to also change our habits to the point where we are practicing on a daily basis. And we also have to change our mindset. That's why we call it yoga skills, because we are trying to develop skills on the mat that transfer into our everyday life. And so those skills involve the ability to have perseverance. Those skills involve the ability to have belief in the self. Okay? So we are having belief in the self, and we are able to persevere and go through our practice without becoming distracted or disturbed, without losing our focus and our concentration. And we also have faith and confidence in the self, that we are able to change our physical being, and we are able to change our psychological self, to make ourselves believe in our own selves. Okay. And so we're gonna go through those we're gonna go through this next pose, which is called Sesh Pose Variation 2. So what I want you to do is bring your legs out in front. I want you to shake your knees out a little bit before we go into that posture. And I want you to bend your knees slightly, keeping your feet flexing towards you. And you're going to take your arms to the side, rotate your arms so that your palms face up. And you're going to lift your arms up as you breathe in. As you exhale, put your hands together. As you inhale, turn your arms forward. And as you exhale, I want you to reach for your feet. Put your hands over the tops of your feet, and then lower your head down and bring your chin to your chest. So we bend the knees just to make the movement more comfortable, because we don't want to be straining, we don't want to be stretching and being very uncomfortable. We want this to be as comfortable as possible. Relax the neck, relax the shoulders. As you hold the position, breathe in slowly and breathe out slowly. Let go of your feet and breathe in. Put your legs flat. Slowly exhale your hands down to your knees and feel your shoulders relax. Relax your shoulders, your arms, and then breathe. Always keeping the tip of your tongue connected to the roof of your mouth. Now, I want you to come onto your hands and knees, and you're going to place your palms down, and you're going to fold your toes underneath your feet, keeping your feet together. You're going to put your left hand, you're going to turn your left hand backwards. You're going to turn your right hand backwards. Your hands are going to support your weight. so that you can gradually introduce the weight onto the toes, let the toes bend. So as the toes are bending, you are lengthening your Achilles tendon. This is the Achilles tendon. As you are sitting down and applying more weight towards your heels, you're going to get an increased range of motion in your toes. You're going to get an increase in the lengthening of your Achilles tendon, and you're going to get an increase in the arch, which is at the bottom of your foot. And your hands are going to rest upon your thighs. And then you're going to lift the chest and lower the shoulders. And then breathe in and slowly breathe out. And breathe in and slowly breathe out. Now, suppose you are like a lot of people who find sitting in this position very uncomfortable. So what you can do as alternative, you don't have to put a lot of, sometimes people put blocks and put pillows and pads and stuff. What you have to do, what I recommend that you do, is that you just, once you place your hands here, just sit down as far as you can go. When you get to the point that is too uncomfortable, you try to maintain and you breathe in, you breathe out, you breathe in, you breathe out, you breathe in, and you breathe out. And then you simply come out of the position. Okay, you don't have to force yourself to sit in there for a long, long time. You don't have to put all kind of different props in that and stuff like that there. Those don't really make a difference. You just bend your toes as far as you can for 3 breaths. After you finish your 3 breaths, then that's it. You come out of it, and then you go into the so that's with the toes bent, that's called variation 2. We lift the feet and we wiggle the toes back and forth, and then we point the feet, we place the insteps down. Now we're going to go into sesh pose variation 3. So again, we turn the hands backwards, left hand, right hand, and we try to control the weight. So we gradually introduce as much weight as we can into the ankles. So this time, instead of sitting on the toes, we are sitting on the instep. This top of the foot is called the instep. And so we want to cause ourselves to sit down as far as you can go comfortably. So if you can only keep, so you use your hands to control your weight. Once you find your limit, you hold it at that point and you breathe in and you breathe out comfortably. For those who are able to sit all the way, you sit all the way and you place your hands on your thighs. Okay? The next step after this is to go into what we call mare. Mare means pyramid. We place the hands into pyramid or mare, and we place the hands down in front of the knees, a few inches in front of the knee, depending upon your body shape, the length of your arms, and so on and so forth. And we're going to go into mare, mesu, heru. That's what we call pyramid child pose. The hands make a pyramid, and we are going into child pose. We call our name for child pose is mesu, heru. So we breathe in, and as we exhale, we want to contract the abdomen as we exhale. We want to lay the chest to the thighs. We want to bring the forehead into the pyramid shape or into the mare. And then we breathe in and we exhale. So as we hold this position, we are breathing in and out at the abdominal area, from the abdominal area, that is allowing us to massage the internal organs. So that means that the abdomen is expanding with the inhalation and is contracting with the exhalation. And that motion of expansion and contraction is massaging the internal organs, causing a stimulation to all of those internal organs that are associated with digestion, assimilation, and elimination. So we breathe in and out, and then we slowly come up. We breathe in, and we let the arms rise up to shoulder's height. And with the exhalation, we come back up onto the hands and knees, and we bring the legs out in front. Okay? So once you bring your legs in front, you're going to wiggle your toes back and forth, and you're going to shake your knees out. Okay? So you want to take the tension out of your knees, out of your toes, out of your ankles. You want to take your feet, and you're going to point your toes, separate your feet in opposite directions. You can hold your hands like this, support your spine, and then flex your feet back towards you. You make a circular motion. So you point, separate, and then bring your feet back together, and then point, separate, flex your feet towards you as you bring your feet together, and then reverse your motion. Separate your feet, and then point as your feet come together, flex back, separate, point as they come together, flex back, and separate, and point as they come together, and then shake them out. Okay? And so that's how you counteract any type of discomfort that you may feel in your toes, your ankles, your knees from doing those positions. Okay? And so again, just understanding the physiological and the bioenergetic effects of that practice that we just did. Try not to think, when people think about yoga, they think about, oh, put your legs behind your head and, stand on your hands, do a handstand, a headstand, all these difficult type of things, right? The most simplest poses can be the most powerful, okay? So we want these very simple postures to be very powerful. So we need to understand, if I simply go into this posture, into this, what do we call it? Mare, hands here, Mesu Heru, child pose. This is a very powerful posture. It is a posture that increases it improves your digestion, it improves your elimination, and it improves your assimilation. Those three factors that's the foundation of your health. Digesting food, assimilating the nutrients from the food, and then eliminating the waste from the food. Those three factors are the keys to good health. If you are not digesting your food, if you are not assimilating the nutrients from the food to get the energy, if you're not eliminating the waste from the food, any malfunction in any of those factors are going to cause disease, cancer, heart disease, colon cancer, so on and so forth. It's because of malfunction in digestion, assimilation, and elimination. So you want to create a healthy condition by which your body is able to process foods properly, get rid of the waste, and so on and so forth. Okay? And so this posture, this mare, pyramid, mesu heru, child pose, that's a very powerful posture. So even if you didn't do a whole bunch of other things, but you did that one, and you got your toes open, you got your ankles open, you got your knees open, you got your hips and your spine lengthened, just doing those little basic things like that, right? Especially if you're a person who's not really active a lot, then that is going to be something that is going to be very helpful to you. Okay, it may be the difference between having to have hip replacement, knee replacement, okay, and so on and so forth. These things are very, very important, very important skills to be able to have. You don't have to be able to do a whole bunch of really hard, fancy yoga postures like they be trying to get you to do. Okay. So the next thing that we're going to work on is strengthening and lengthening. Okay. Strengthening and lengthening. So one thing, especially as we get older, we start to lose the strength in our bones. So our bones so a lot of times people think that their muscles are getting weak, but also your bones can be getting weak, right? And so we have to use pressure against the bones in order to cause the bones to remain strong. Okay, pressure against the bones to cause the bones to remain strong. Okay, and so we do a couple of postures in order to achieve that. Okay, we call this resistance. We want to create resistance against something. We want to press against something in order to stimulate the bones, the cells of the bones to start to resist and to build themselves up. We want to create resistance in order to cause the muscles in the body, the muscles in the arms, the chest, the back, the shoulders, to become stronger by creating resistance. When we create resistance, that's how we develop our strength. That's how we develop more resiliency in the cells of the body. Okay. And so we're going to work on, and the other thing that happens when we do this next pose is that we are creating a larger lung capacity. So we are increasing the strength, the size, and the strength of the lungs. So that means that the lungs are able to take in more air. The lungs are able to become cleansed. We can break up congestion that may exist in the little air sacs in the lungs that we can break up the congestion that may be along the bronchial passageways in the middle of the chest where we get mucus, right? And so we want to break up that congestion, even if we don't know that we have the congestion because we have it. So we want to break this up. But it's a very simple things that we can do to help to break this up and at the same time strengthen the arms, the chest, the shoulders, and so the wrists especially, the hands, the fingers. We want to strengthen all of these different areas of our body because we want to be able to use these areas of our body as we get older. Okay, so we're going to come onto our abdomen, come into the front part of the body, and come into the floor. And we're going to place the chin on the back of the hands, and we're going to rest the body comfortably. And we're breathing in slowly, and we are breathing out slowly. And so this posture is what is commonly called upward facing dog. We use the term Wajet in Kemetic yoga. Wajet, Wadjet. And Wajet means cobra, the snake. And so we are imitating that snake. We're not imitating a dog. I don't see dogs doing this position, but I see cobras or serpents or snakes doing this position. So what we want to do is place the hands on the floor next to the chest and position your hands so that your fingers are spread wide apart and your forearms are perpendicular to the plane of the floor. Keep your legs together, keep your thighs together, keep your feet together. And as you breathe in, pull your body forward slightly. Inhale, lifting up your body. Exhale, and lock your arms straight. Lift your chest and let your head come up and back. And then breathe. Hold this position and use it as an opportunity to control your breath. So you're breathing in, you're breathing out, you're breathing in, and then slowly exhale and ease your body back down. Bring your hands to the mat and place your chin on the back of your hands and let yourself rest. And so you're breathing in slowly and then breathing out slowly. And I want you to pay attention to the changes in your breathing. You should notice that you're able to breathe more efficiently. You should notice that your head is more open. These are all changes that should take place, subtle changes that should take place as a consequence of you performing your practices. So then we come back to this position, and then we bring the hands. We want to spread your fingers. We place the hands next to the chest. Make sure that your forearms are perpendicular to the floor. You breathe in. When you rise up, I don't want you to just push up. I want you to slightly pull forward and then lift as you are breathing in, as you are exhaling. Lock your arms and breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, and breathe out, and breathe in. Now, hold your breath. Slowly exhale as you bend your arms and come down. Keep your elbows in close to your body. Bring your hands down. Place your chin on the back of your hands. And as you hold this position, I want you to breathe in slowly. And I want you to breathe out slowly. And I want you to pay attention to the changes that are taking place within your body as a result of doing this pose. Again, this pose is called Wajet, Wadjet. So breathe in, breathe out, and then we're going to go into this movement for the third time. We're going to bring the hands next to the chest. We use the inhalation of the breath to pull forward slightly and then up. We inhale and then exhale. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, and then slowly exhale. Easing the body down. Bring the hands back. Place the chin on the back of the hands. And inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Okay, now let's sit up. And so now that posture, which is called Wajet or Cobra, not upward facing dog. I don't know where they get that from, but it's called Wajet. And again, feel your arms, feel your chest, feel your latissimus dorsi, these muscles here on the side, feel your shoulders. All of those areas of your body are becoming strengthened, okay? You should be able to feel your lungs are larger. Your head is more open because you have increased the circulation into your skull area. You've increased the amount of oxygen that you're able to take in, and so on and so forth. Okay? Now, when I teach, I try to teach properly. That's why I call it yoga skills. There are certain whenever you are doing anything with your body, you have the potential of doing it correctly and creating a benefit for your body, or you have the potential to do something incorrectly and actually injuring your body. Okay, so in order to do this posture correctly, these are the things that you have to pay attention to. Number one, your hand position. When I go into this position, I'm pushing down against the floor. I am spreading my fingers wide apart. Okay. This spreading of the hands, spreading of the fingers, number one, is going to help you as you get older. It's going to help you from having your fingers and having the ligaments and things in your fingers beginning to scrunch up and lose the function of your hand, where your hands become weak, where your hands, where the ligaments and the connective tissue in your hands begin to get weak or begin to shrivel up, and you lose the dexterity in your hands. You lose the dexterity in your fingers. You lose the dexterity in your wrist, and so on and so forth. You want your wrist to be able to bend at this angle, right? And so that's why we spread the fingers at, as wide apart as we can. The part of your hand which is touching the floor and absorbing the weight and supporting the weight of your body is this portion right here. This is we usually think of this area here, from here to here as your thumb. But actually your thumb extends all the way down to this area here. So this fleshy part of your hand right there, that's part of your thumb structure. And so this is the part of your hand which is making contact with the floor to support you as you lift up. Okay? This fleshy part of your hand is where you put your weight. So part of yoga skills, part of Kemetic yoga skills is learning how to engage the muscles in your body properly and to use those different parts of your body in the proper way in order to get the maximum amount of benefit from your body. And so you have to have a sense of I want to use the word aggression, but you have to use a certain amount of precision and force when you do your practice. Not physical force, but you have to use the force of your mind to engage. That's why I call it engage. You got to engage your hand, your wrist, your forearm, your biceps, your triceps, your deltoids, your pectoral muscles. All of those muscles have to be engaged and used properly as well as using your breath. Okay. So another key thing that you have to think about in terms of precaution is that when you come up into the position and you lift your chest, don't let your shoulders do like this. So a lot of times people push their shoulders up towards their ears because they want to avoid the feeling that you get in the muscles in your arms when you do that posture, because they are not used to using those muscles. And so when you have muscles that you are not used to using, you try to avoid them by, you know, getting soft or not engaging. So your arms, so you want to keep your chest down, you want to extend the arms and lift and let the hair go all the way back. So you want the neck to be free. And so you don't, if you lift your shoulders up like this and push against the floor, you're going to damage the shoulder. So a lot of people who practice yoga, they learn yoga from people who don't know how to teach yoga properly, they get damage to their shoulders. And so you have to engage so that the shoulders actually do not get injured as a consequence of your practice. Because again, in yoga, you can either help yourself or you can actually harm yourself with the improper practice. Okay? And so, so again, so I'm gonna demonstrate the movement one more time. So when you're watching videos and stuff like this, the purpose of it is not for you to be able to follow the video and just do the whole video like you're doing a workout. The idea of it is for you to learn the fundamental principles of movement, the dynamics of movement, the dynamics of how to use and operate the body, and then develop your own personal practice where you don't need a video, where you don't need anybody instructing you. You just practice to the point where the practice becomes part of your own body, becomes part of your body, becomes part of your own consciousness. Okay, because you want to develop a practice that you can do any place by yourself and be able to do it properly. So I'm going to demonstrate again one more time. So again, when you begin the Wajjet pose, you come into your abdomen, you place your hands on the floor, you place your chin on the back of the hands. You want to, when you come to this position, you are breathing, you are relaxing, you are focusing your mind, you are focusing your thoughts. You place your hands on the floor next to your chest. You spread your fingers wide. You want to make sure that your forearms are perpendicular to the plane of the floor. When you breathe in slowly, you pull your body forward, and then you begin to lift. And then as you exhale, that's when you lift your chest, lock your arms in place, let your head go back. Now you hold this position and you take 3 breaths. You breathe in slowly and expand your lungs. You breathe out slowly, contract your abdomen. You breathe in. You breathe out. You breathe in and then slowly exhale. Keep your elbows in close to your body. Bring your hands down and put your chin on the back of your hands and relax. And breathe in and slowly breathe out. Okay, so again, that is called Wajjet. Do it properly, do it with engagement, do it with the proper alignment and with the proper intention. Okay, you don't have to do a lot of really hard things. Just do basic postures, but do them properly, and you will get tremendous benefit from doing your basic postures. Okay? And so those are just a few of the little basic parts of our core practices that we do. So we set off with cleansing breath, laying on the back, breathing in through the nose, holding the breath, opening the mouth, and exhaling through the mouth. That's variation 2. Variation 1 is breathing in, open the mouth, and then slowly exhaling. Variation 2 is breathing in slowly and then exhaling out through the mouth quickly. So on the exhalation in variation 2, you try to release all the air from your lungs quickly. And then you transition. So this is all laying on the floor. You transition from cleansing breath into Sahu pose. So the word Sahu, this is the proper name for what the other people call a mummy. The word mummy is not an ancient Kemetic or African word. Mummy is some type of an Arab word. It does not reflect the true meaning of what we call Sahu. Okay, so Sahu is not a corpse. It's not a dead person. Sahu represents an idea of deep meditation, deep transitional consciousness, a transition in our consciousness. That's what Sahu represents. Okay? And so the word Sahu, which is spelled S-A-H-U, represents the idea of allowing ourselves to have access to our subconscious. So there are 5 stages to this process. And we are doing this while lying on the back, right? And so the right palm is not all the way up here on the chest. It is down on the lower part of the chest, right beneath the sternum. The sternum is the bone right in the middle of your chest plate. So the right hand is here, the left hand is on the back of the right, and the thumbs are touching, making a mare. Remember we said mare, M-E-R. Mare is pyramid. Making that shape. That's a very powerful shape. We'll talk more about that in the future. So as we come into this position, we are breathing in slowly and we are breathing out slowly. So we are in Sahu, S-A-H-U. Okay? Most people do not even really realize what the mummy or the Sahu really is, and all of the various dimensions of what the Sahu is. Okay? So this is how we perform that position. And so in this position, we are allowing the body to go into a deep state of meditation. So there are 5 stages to this meditation. The first stage is relaxation. We relax the body. We train the mind to focus on each area of the body, starting with the head, going into the neck and the throat, going into the shoulders, going into the upper back, the middle back, the lower back, the left arm all the way down into the hands, the right arm all the way down into the hands, the hips, the thighs, the knees, the lower legs, the ankles, the feet, and the toes. So we go into a progressive relaxation where we release each one of those areas. We move the mind through the body and we find each one of those areas of the body and we release it, we relax it. So that is the first stage, relaxation. The second stage is concentration. Concentration means that I am not allowing external thoughts to interfere with my ability to pay attention. What am I paying attention to? I'm paying attention to myself. I'm paying attention to my body. I'm paying attention to the sensations I get from my body. I'm monitoring my body. I want to see if I am releasing my tension. I want to feel if I have any pain. I want to pay attention to my mind and my thoughts. Am I thinking about things from the past? Are different traumatic experiences being drudged up from my subconscious mind and disturbing me? I want to understand in this process the connection between my subconscious thoughts and my conscious or unconscious behaviors, the behaviors that I'm going through in my real life, the decisions that I'm making, the areas of my life where I have difficulty, where I'm struggling with something in terms of my own discipline, my own self-control, my own ability to overcome different behaviors or habits that I have, or ways of operating that may be dysfunctional for me. Do I avoid certain situations instead of taking them on head on, approaching them from a head on perspective, or do I try to get away? And does that cause problems and things in other aspects of my life? Okay. These are things that you're trying to do an evaluation of. And so this is part of your concentration. So I want to withdraw my awareness. Once I discover that I'm in my meditation and I'm thinking about something from the past, when I'm in my meditation and I'm thinking about something from the, something that's bothered me before and so on and so forth, I want to have the presence of mind to be able to withdraw my awareness from that situation. And I want to be able to focus my awareness not on that, but on my breath. So my focal point is my breath. I am focusing on the observation of my inhalation and my exhalation, and the observation of the effects of my inhalation and my exhalation. Okay, that's what I want to pay attention to. The other thing after your concentration is awareness of your energy flow. So we are human beings who are composed of a physical body. We are composed of a spirit. We are composed of a soul. We are composed of a mind. Okay. And we are composed of energy. Okay. Our ancient ancestors, they put names to these different aspects of the self. Okay. They called it the Ka, the Ba, the Ren, the Ku, so on and so forth. Okay. So they had different names. They had their own understanding of what we call spiritual anatomy, right? And so we want to become aware that we are not only this matter, this material, that we are energy. And so we want to become aware of how this energy is operating in the body. So what we have to do is put ourselves in a state of deep relaxation and deep concentration, so that then, instead of our minds and our thoughts being externalized to the external world and to the external experiences that we've been having, that our minds become interior and we become internalized and we become aware of those internal things that's taking place within the body that we are not normally paying attention to, but are occurring all the time but we are not aware of. Okay. And so that is the movement of energy. Okay. So what we do in our practice, when we are in the Sahu pose, is that we keep the tip of the tongue connected to the roof of the mouth. So as I said before, we are connecting these two opposite energies, creating a circuit by which this energy is able to flow through the body more efficiently. In ancient Kemetic symbology, we see that the king, the so-called pharaoh, has a snake on some of his crowns. He has a snake in the middle of the forehead. Okay, that snake represents that life force. It doesn't represent evil. It doesn't represent anything bad. It represents life force. It's a symbolic representation of the movement of life force through the body. They wore that for the same reason that you go to the doctor and he has that medical symbol with a staff and two snakes going up like that. They call it the medical caduceus, but they don't call that evil. But when we see snakes in the African context, they say, oh, that's evil. It is not evil. It is not bad. That snake represents your life force. And so we are trying to move the snake, move this energy. In India, they use the term kundalini, okay? In Kemet, we use the word wajet again. Wajet is the snake. And we are trying, and so we understand that this snake, or this energy, which is represented by the idea, by the symbol of the snake, that we are trying to move this energy from 3 inches below the navel, and we try to move it with the inhalation of the breath. We move it up to the crown of the head and then into the middle of the forehead. With the exhalation of the breath, we move the energy through the arms into the hands and down the legs and into the feet. Okay, that's one of the reasons why we do this with the hands when we are meditating, in order to keep the energy circulating. Okay, so again, the energy rises from below the navel, comes to the crown, and then to the middle of the forehead. It goes to the arms, into the hands, down the legs, and into the feet on the exhalation. Okay, so we want to become aware of this energy flow in our practice. Okay, this positioning of the hand like this is not something that that is exclusive to India. I could show you examples of this being done in ancient Kemet. So don't think that all of this stuff, oh, everything comes from India. This is Kemetic. Okay? In India, they call this a mudra. But this is a Kemetic positioning of the hand that is done within the context of meditation, that is done within the context of the playing of musical instruments like flutes and different stringed instruments that are creating vibrational frequencies that are allowing one to heal themselves on the physical level and on the psychological level and on the energetic level. Okay, so these are things that we have been able to establish through research. Okay, so after meditation, after energy flow, the next step, the fourth step, is called healing. Heal thyself. Okay, if you are a yoga teacher, for example, if you are any type of healing professional, your first goal is to heal yourself. If you're a psychologist, a psychiatrist, and you crazy, you're going to have a problem trying to help other people because you crazy yourself. So you have to heal yourself on a physical level, on a psychological level, on a spiritual level. So one of the things that we do while we are in the Sahu pose, and again, so Sahu doesn't mean a dead person wrapped up in in bandages and stuff like that. That is not the only thing that the Sahu is. The Sahu represents somebody who is making that transition, who are going deep into the afterlife, into the next phase of reality. We can access that next phase of reality while we are still alive in the physical body. That's what we are doing in the Sahu pose. So so within this posture, once we go into that deep state of relaxation, once we go into that deep state of concentration, then we begin to focus on areas of the body and areas of the mind that need to become healed. And we are working on healing the self. We are working on healing the self. So we identify areas of the physical body where we may have an ailment. And as we breathe in, we want to, in our mind, we are visualizing a power, the power of the breath, the power of the life force that exists in the air around us being brought into the body and directed into that area of the body where we need to have that healing to take place, or being directed into the body in general, to cause the body to begin to heal. And when we do this, we are actually causing a reaction within the body on a cellular level and on an atomic level, on the level of the atoms, on the molecular level. So we are stimulating the molecules of the body. We are stimulating the atoms of the body to change their behavior in order to facilitate the creation of healing. So we are stimulating the immune system. We are increasing the red blood cells because we are bringing more oxygen. We created a lot of different physiological and bioenergetic changes that are corrected, that is directing the body to correct itself, to heal itself, to relieve itself of any type of problems that may exist within the body. This is the power of the breath. This is the power of controlled deep breathing that we miss. So while people are going around smoking weed all the time and saying, I got to go all the way down to Peru or Mexico to take ayahuasca and do all kinds of different things, we are missing the basic fundamental things that we can do with this simple thing that surrounds us, that is in abundance around us all the time, that we exist in, which is called air. The air is the breath. In ancient Kemetic, they called the air shu. Within the shu, we have secum. That's the life force within the air, the onk that we are taking into our bodies. These are such basic fundamental things that we miss them. When we become stressed or traumatized, we turn to substances, we turn to foods, we turn to abnormal behaviors instead of just becoming still and engaging in the most fundamental activity that you can engage in, which is simply breathing. Simply breathing and understanding the science behind that breath, the science that our ancestors left us. The ancestors didn't say smoke weed all day long. The ancestors didn't say take different types of powerful hallucinogens and psychedelics. They said to take the breath and to move that energy up the spine, bring it to the crown, and then to the middle of your forehead. Okay, this is how you have those transformational experiences that changes your consciousness. Okay, not by clogging up your lungs with smoke. Okay. I know people are going to get mad at me for saying these things, but that's okay because I'm going to always tell you what I know to be the truth. Okay. What I know to be facts. Okay. So after you go through this process of healing, after you identify the areas of your body, the areas of your thoughts, your emotions that need to be rebalanced, that need to be recalibrated, that need to be healed, your next step is going to be, it's called becoming. So you want to visualize yourself being in the state that you are that you um, really want to be in the future. You want to view yourself in a state of fulfillment. That's what I call it. Not being rich, not be having a bunch of money and stuff like that, but being in a state of fulfillment where you are self-realized, okay? In that state of self-realization where you have become what it is that you came on this into this plane of existence to become. You already know why you came here into this body, why your spirit came into this body. You already know why, but you have to discover what that is because that's part of your task. That's part of the challenge of living. So you have to go through this process of self-discovery in order to know your true nature and your true purpose. Okay, so that's what we're working with. So this is what meditation is. This is what yoga is. It's not about stretching and how many positions you can do, even though we do positions and we love these positions because of what they do for you. But the thing that you're but what you have to understand is viewing those things within the context of moving myself through my own personal evolutionary process. Okay. So that's what I'm trying to do. Okay. So that is the real secret behind the scenes purpose of yoga. That is the yoga code that they don't want you to really know about. They want you to just think of yoga. Oh, I'm going to do a headstand. I'm going to stretch. I'm going to heat up the room to 106 degrees. And I'm going to be sweating and doing all this stuff. And so on and so forth. They want you to think of yoga as just this physical activity, but they don't want you to understand the real inner parts of yoga. Because when you really understand what the true nature of yoga is, you start to understand what your own true nature is, and you become the ultimate revolutionary and a person who they cannot stop, the person who they cannot deceive, the person who they cannot trick. Okay, because you become in control of your own mind and your own thoughts. Okay. So that is the true purpose. So these things that we're talking about, that we're discussing, these are the true parts of yoga. And this is how we develop ourselves into powerful beings. And this is how we use yoga, especially like Kemetic yoga, to empower our communities. Okay. So that's what we're working with. So thank you very much. And hotel.
Thank you.
Let me see.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so let me see.